Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 14 of Direwolf20's Space Engineers series. Guys, I'm excited because I've got some cool stuff to work on today. As you can see, my welders are in place, my ship stuff is in place. I think, and I might be wrong, but I think I'm pretty darn ready to test this whole shebang out. Let's come over here and see what we're at in terms of resources. All right, we're doing pretty good on construction components. They're still running. Could probably do with producing like a handful of metal grids. Hopefully that's not too much to ask for. Everything else, we're actually doing really well in terms of resources. Bulletproof glass we're a little bit low on, and it doesn't, not sure if it's running at the moment. We might be out of silicon again. Boy, do we burn through silicon. Bulletproof glass, one of those things that you can burn through rather quickly. You can see I've done some mining between last episode and this one. That's fine. I'm pretty ready to test out making a ship. Eep. I'm excited. So what I want to do is two things. One, I would like to make Welder 3. I'm going to name him Welder Station. Or we'll call him Room Builder. How's that sound? Or we'll call him Welder Room Builder. How's that? Even better, right? Yeah, I like that. Welder Room Builder. Cool. Now, Basic Welder, we're going to want to get rid of him after a bit. So what I might want to do for now, I'm going to like kind of put him away somewhere, like off to the side where he's not going to cause any kind of trouble. And I want to shut down his antenna. And that'll prevent him from being listed here. So if we just went to Basic Welder, Antenna, Toggle Block Off, I now no longer have him listed. Cool. Because it's the antenna that allows your player to communicate with this guy. Cool. The other thing I might want to do, I don't have a keypad on here, do I? There should be something I can tap into. The connector should allow me to interact with him. Yes. Lights off, please. Let's make sure both of them are off. Cool. So this thing should kind of just sit here nicely, chilling. Eventually, I'll probably grind him down for resources because I really don't need him anymore. You can see I've been tweaking and testing my docking connection stuff, and really, I've not had any luck with the autopilot. I really just think autopilot's a little bit bugged right now, which is really bumming me out because it's so cool having ships automatically dock, but unfortunately, it seems to just be a little bit buggy. So I'm hoping that that's a bug that gets resolved soon. Meanwhile, I want to show you guys this place. Oh, this is cool. So let's take a look at the platform. We're going to call it Hangar Roof. Keep them on. We want to close them. Hangar door, close them. Oh, yeah. Whoosh. Sneaking in there. Haha, that is cool, right? I wouldn't mind having, and you can see remnants of a player death right here. Extra grinder. Let's have some ship stuff. So what do I got in my inventory? Let's go get some things. I should do something about doors here at some point. But for now, let's get some steel plates, some construction components, some small steel tubes. That should be sufficient to kind of get a start on things. So early on in the season, we saw creating a ship using the following. We're going to do a new small ship right-ish in the center. It doesn't have to be the exact center of the room, but it should be pretty well centered. And let's throw on top of that guy a reactor, just a small one, and a projector. And remember, you want the plus on top. Cool. Now let's get these things put together. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab our platform here. We're going to open the roof. And the vertical, we're going to reverse. And the horizontal, we're going to reverse. Till they get about close to there, where I want them to be. And then when we're ready, whoops, I turned off my thing. So let's reverse that back. Platform. This is actually a good test. I'm curious. Oh, good. Look at that. Nice. So fully extended, it doesn't bump into any walls or anything. So let's bring that back. Platform. Let's do horizontal, reverse. You know what? It's kind of a hassle having to do all this crazy stuff, isn't it? Let's turn this off. There we go. Whoosh. Let's do welders on. Ta-da! And platform welders off. Dude, how cool is that? We probably were short on reactor components, yes. So I should produce a few of those. Wouldn't be a terrible idea. So platform production, reactor components. You look like you're stuck making something, which makes, oh, silicon. Why are we on the computer assembler? That happens every now and then, and I don't know why. So we're gonna want like some reactor components. Cool. Now we can turn our welders back on. Oh, see, I was too close again. Silly Dire. Dire derp. That's okay. Respawn. So I think it would behoove me to have a little bit better control over this system, because open up this platform and going to welders and turning blocks on and off like that, just a hassle, to be honest with you. So let's put away this and that because we don't need him, and we'll take these back. That should be cool. There. And now when that corpse decays, it'll be gone forever. Oh, you know what I'll probably want also is some fuel for that thing. So let's grab some uranium. Probably don't want that much. That should be much better. And it'll get auto-sorted, of course. So let's do something which I think will be pretty cool. If I throw this into the small reactor here, the projector should be ready to run. Where is it safe in this room? Clearly not here, so pretty much nowhere. Now I do have one minor problem, is in the past, I've had a slightly different setup for this. But for now, let's see, where is a good place to set up a little bit of a control panel? I'm thinking... What if I was up here? Can I pretty much see the whole room? For the most part. Now, if I wanted, I could have a button panel. Now, vanilla, there is one of these. Button panel. End of story, nothing else available. Modded adds some other button panels. Panels with 2, 1, 4, and many other options here, which are pretty cool. 4-button ramp base, huh? I might want to check out what that looks like. 4-button slope. A couple different things I might want to play with here. 4-button panel line. I mean, clearly you can tell that there's, oh, 8-button panel. That's cool. Might want to see what that looks like. Those are 3-button corners, 8-button ramp base. Oh man, there's a lot of button options. There we go. So it could even be just like that. So I need interior plates, construction components, and computers. Should not be a problem. Interior plates, construction components, we'll just get a few more of them, and computers. And these button panels can be configured in a very cool way, and you're about to see what they're all about. So I might want to try this. Hooray! Or I could try something like this. See, that's a little bit... Yeah, I don't like that at all. What's this look like? Not so much a fan of that either. What about this? Ooh, now that's neat. That might go cool on something. If it was like right up against the wall or something, 8 panels. But I think for what I want right here, this will do. So check this out. When we hit K on this thing, you'll notice that there's 4 toolbar options in the bottom here. This represents button 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if I went to my groups and I wanted to do things like as follows, right? So let's say horizontal piston will be the first button, and we'll just reverse it, right? We're also probably going to want to have that turned on and off at some point, toggle block on and off. And we'll want to do the same for the vertical. So vertical, reverse, vertical, on, off, right? What's cool about this is now when I press the button, you can kind of see what it is. So first off, we want to turn it back on, and then it'll completely be running again, right? And for vertical, we want to hit that button for the reverse, and it'll reverse it. Nice, right? I like that. Or if we want to reverse it downwards. And we want to, so the first one is reverse, and the second one is power on and off. So we're going to hit that to stop it moving. Cool, right? Neat. Now we'll probably want another button panel. And I haven't entirely decided how I want this to work out. I might tweak this a little bit. But this is probably the one where we're going to want to use to turn on and off the welders. Is there anything really else that we need to do with this one? Probably the doors. So we could have this one be the welders. Toggle block on and off. So just press T to activate it. And then 3 and 4 can be the groups. So we'll do the hangar door on 3, open, close. And the hangar roof on 4, open, close. Cool. So when I hit number 3 there, it should open the door. And number 3 there closes it. So typically I wouldn't want to be in that room because pretty much everywhere in the room there's a capacity for welder damage. And I don't want to be hanging out in there for too long. But I can't really see too well from this viewpoint. Might want to just see... What if I put it like here? Is this cool or not so much? I mean, this could work a little bit better because I could, you know, but I still can't see perfectly down there. So let me see if I can get a better vantage point on where I want to have this control panel set up. And if worst case it's right here, then like this actually isn't terrible because I can always just be flying here and like hit the buttons, right? So turn on and off the welders with this button, right? No, that's the welding piston. It's this one is the welders, yeah. All right, back in a moment. So I think I'm going to leave the button panels as is for now, but before we do much else, I would like to get a ship up and running. So let's do our projector. We're going to bring up our blueprints. I want another Dire Welder V3. Hooray! And you can see that guy kind of just chilling, ready to roll. Let's see if he's nice. So you can see that this room's pretty big. It's deceptively large, but look at where the welder is. Like, that's the full size of the welder, like period, end of story. That's what the welder looks like, and I think it looks pretty darn good. Let's go to our production of our platform, and again, you're on assembler computer. I'm not sure why, but I'm not going to change anything there because I know that like pretty shortly it's going to be okay. So everything's good here. Nice, you made them all good. Hopefully that's enough. So again, if we want to get stuff going, we'll just want to put a block here. No, not there. Here, which should allow for that block to get welded. You guys ready to check out the magic? Don't fly into welders. I don't care if they're off or on. It's a bad idea. So this is the welder control, which you can see in very small print. Welders. How cool is this? Nice, right? So it looks like we're short on something. I'm not sure what. I'm gonna go check what we're... Oh, you know, well, no, we shouldn't be short on much of anything. Let's see if we're out of anything over here. Reactor, thrusters, gravity generator, medical, radio communication. It might be detector components. That's probably what we're short on. Production. Let's make like a handful more of detector components and a little bit more radio communications. We might be short on silicon. Yikes. Let's just try turning this on and off and see if that helps with getting it kickstarted again. You shouldn't necessarily need to, but it's worth trying. Alright, let's turn them off, and I'll be back in a second. I might need to go get a few resources, but we will see in a moment. Oh, you know what? I think I figured it out. It was power cells for the welders. I always forget that those twin welders need power cells. So I just made a few. Ah, there we go. Everything's working again. Nice. So hopefully I've got the resources to get this whole thing welded pretty quickly, too. You can see a lot of the welders are on. Some of them aren't, obviously. That's okay, because they just don't have the range for it. But imagine having even a larger ship in here and this thing being able to go back and forth to manage it. That's kind of cool, right? And if we wanted to, we could even have a timer set up to like cause the horizontal motion to go back and forth. That would be really neat. So it could just keep going back and forth a little bit. That would be really cool. But right now, it's basically drawing everything out of the cargo containers over there and using everything in my base to produce stuff. And if we were to fly over here, we'd see a lot of that, you know, draining out and whatnot, which is cool. Nice. So you can see a lot of things getting drained out, moved around. The welders are still welding. We can see sparks flying off of them. Very cool. And it looks like we're getting pretty darn close here to done. Are you complete? You might be missing a few things. Let's go see. What is the completeness level of you? You're definitely missing just a couple components here. I'm guessing probably the sensor. That's what I'm going to go ahead and assume is what's missing. As usual, if you pop in here and go to your control panel, you should be able to see what's red. Oh, reactor. Ah, okay. So we're probably short on either metal grids or reactor components. But remember, we have a lot of reactors in that thing, so that's probably what we're short on. Reactors, 0 out of 10. So we'll go to our assembly line here. A few reactors. And then turn our welders back on. Now later, once we have more assemblies that are keeping all components available, and once we have a little bit better resource income, obviously that won't be as much of a problem, right? So there will be very rare instances where we have to do much manually. And that looks like it might have finished. Did we get everything on here? Are you done? So that would be cool. Oh, look at that. Antennas. That is cool. All right. Just want to double check something in here. Is everything cool within here? Looks like it. So let's go to our reactors, and I'm going to say uranium P11. Copy this down to all the reactors. I want to make sure that all my reactors actually can receive fuel. And if that's the case, then cool. And if not, I did something wrong with the connectors. One or two people mentioned on this ship that things aren't connecting properly in terms of the reactors. And I might have, just because I was kind of peeking through the side there, gotten it wrong. And if that's the case, then I'll have to update my blueprint. Let's get about 20. And if we throw them in the connector, they should all sort properly. The one other thing we'll probably want to make sure of is the reactors are all set to use conveyor system off. Cool. So medium reactor 10 is not connected. Aha. So I'm going to have to update my blueprint here in a moment. But let's show on HUD for a moment so we can see where reactor 10 is. Because you are clearly not connected properly. Oh, that would probably be you, huh? Hopefully I have the resource to pick up all this stuff. Yeah, that's it. So let me update this blueprint here in a moment. I'll have to do it from my creative world. It's this way that we would want it to be, right? Reactor will now be this. Use conveyor system off. And if we check on the inventory, we'll see that all reactors except the one that's not finished, which is renamed to 10 again. So let's get this welded up and see if 10 gets his uranium. And he did. Nice. So that was my bad. Get this welded back into place, and because I broke a spotlight, we're gonna have to re-fix the groups again, but that's not a big deal. Pretty nice, right? I am really a fan of this kind of room where you get to build stuff like this. So we're gonna show on terminal off. Lights, we're going to re-add spotlight 3 to him. We'll make sure that their radius is appropriately lined up. Cool. Alright, I think we're in good shape, guys. I just want to make sure... Yes, all looks good. So with that in place, I can break this piece. Nice. I can request from the platform that the hangar door open. And then we should be able to fly small ship 5838. We're going to rename him to Welder. I don't know. Stuff. So the room builder welder, so we'll just call it blocks or something generic. Basically, the room builder welder is going to be the one that contains, we look to our cargo, just steel plates, bulletproof glass, and girders, right? So his main inventory is going to be built up of all that stuff. This welder right here is going to have a slightly different setup, and I'm going to show you. Maybe I'll post this in the comments of this video, but I guarantee you I'm going to forget when the time comes. But usually this should fit what I'm about to put in here. Yeah. So if we go to our large cargo container, we're going to call it Welder that, which is this really long name. And basically what it is most components we'll have about 800 of, but we're going to want a decent number of steel plates, because usually when you're building stuff, you're still going to need a lot of them. A good number of construction components, but a smaller number of reactors, power cells, thrusters, large tubes, communication, detector. Those things you don't need so often, and they're also very large in terms of storage space. So having 800, for example, reactor components would take up a lot of room. So that's why I like to limit that. So most things we'll have about 800 of, everything else a little bit less. So let's try remote controlling him. And we're going to want to add the camera here. View. And then we will have the connectors for toggle on off and lock. And you can see I've got the timers on there. Remember, those are specifically meant for stuff. We'll do lights, can be 3, toggle block on and off, and welders here, toggle block on and off. Cool. Hey, there's me. Hey, me, how's it going? Whoosh, and I'm away. Oh, I did it again. I heard the clunk. Oh boy, I do this all the time, far too often. I have to remember to go up before I... Alright, so we'll be back in a minute to get the ship docked and then get him full of resources so I can use him to build things that aren't just, you know, armor blocks and glass and whatnot. So, be right back. Alright guys, looks like we're back up and running here. Oh, careful, don't run into the wall, direwolf. Whew, sometimes it's easy to fly the ship. And sometimes you bump into things by mistake. So that should be cool. I should now be able to come up here and use my control panels to say, let's see, those are the hangar door ones on the left. So we're going to want the horizontal guy back on, but reverse so that he comes backwards. And we'll also want to reverse the verticals so that he comes back to his original position of all the way up and all the way back. And once that's in place, then I can close the hangar door and the roof. Nice. How cool is that? I dig it. I'm quite pleased with that, as a matter of fact. Yeah. Let's get this guy docked up and happy. So if we were to welder blocks, remote control, just back into position for me, sir. There you are. And lock. And if we check our welder cargo, that's interesting. I didn't know welders actually had... let's see. Where's the cargo hold on this thing? You know what? I might have accidentally... Yeah. I lost the setting that I had in here. So let's reconfigure that dude. So we'll call him... we'll actually name him cargo. Cool. Now if we check cargo, we should see, yeah, look at that, 800 of everything, 3,500 steel plates, 2,500 construction components. We don't have quite enough reactor components, but that's okay. We don't really need them. Power cells, a few radio communications. Nice. I like it. And you'll notice the volume 63,000, 8 of 81,000. We're probably short on a few things. Not a big deal. I'm going to go ahead and call myself pleased with that setup. So now we can actually disengage the lock, and we're good to go. Nice. Energy low, I know. Let's refill some oxygen, some energy. I'm going to charge up in here, and I'll come back in a minute. Alright guys, I've added a new mod to the pack. It may, if you're subscribed to all, I don't know if it automatically comes down, so just go check it out. It's S Airtight Door. So just go to the collection in Steam, make sure to add it to your world. If you you might have to subscribe to it in Steam, but then make sure to add it to your world, and then load it up. I want to check this out. I haven't actually tried this mod yet, so I'm being a little bit risky by showing it on camera before I've checked it out, but I think it's going to be cool, and it might add some functionality that I'm actually interested in. So let's check it out. So like I said, legitimately not tested this door mod yet, but it might be adding some interesting doors. Let's see. Ooh, airtight doors. Yeah, S airtight door. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 3C. All right, these are a little bit strange, but I think the one I'm looking for is S airtight door 3x3. So some of these have some pretty cool sizes. You might want to check them out. But I'm going to try it out here. Hopefully it's not one of those. Actually, that looks pretty good. Yeah, that actually looks really good. Let's see, is there a bunch of components here? Perfect time to use my brand new welder ship. Let's grab welder blocks, remote control, go. Make sure the lights are on. There we are. Flying off in this direction. Nice, look at that guy. That is cool. A 3x3 door? That might be neat. I'm gonna actually have to add a little bit more of a walkway here. If this is gonna be a 3x3 door, it should probably be a 3x3 walkway. And I'll get this welded up in a minute. After I get more armor plates. Oh, that is cool. It's a little bit slow, though. I mean, it is an airlock, obviously, right? And it's a 3x3. But that's really cool looking. I don't suppose there's a way to speed this guy up. Rarely do doors have any kind of control like that. Yeah. But there's a bunch of other doors in this pack, within this mod. Secton makes some really cool stuff. So I'm not surprised that his doors are really neat looking. As you can see, there's several different types here. Door 1, door 2, door 3, door 3C. Oh, that's neat. Just want to take a quick look at a couple of them. You can just put them up here on the roof, right? So we can see what they look like. So that looks like a 2x3 door. Ah, that's neat. This one looks like a 1x1, obviously. Also cool looking. Nice. Whoa, look at this guy. Is that a 5? I want to say that looks like it's... Yeah, that's like 5x3. That's huge. Nice. And that's the 3x3 that we just installed. Very cool. All right. May or may not leave that there. I mean, if I don't use it now, I'll use it later. It's a little bit slow for me, but I want to try it out. It's definitely cool. Yeah, I might wind up... You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go with just a normal door. It was worth trying, but... There we go. Yeah, this should be good. So let's go ahead and get that welded into place. And you know what? I'll probably wind up removing these guys real quick. And this is what's nice about having a welder ship that's meant for like welding anything, because it has pretty much all the components that you'll typically need on it, and you'll be able to pretty much easily rest assured that whatever you want to weld is ready to go. So room builder, no. Blocks, yes. Remote control, go. So it even has some, you know, bulletproof glass and girders and stuff, so that you know, right, it's going to be pretty cool. Nice. All right. So now this room should be airtight. I should start testing the airtightness of these rooms. but I don't know that I can try. Let's talk about airtightness very briefly. I don't know if I'll be able to actually test this or not, but I think I can. I think I can. Should be able to weld that guy, right? Welder blocks, remote control. Can you weld up through the wall here? This air vent, please. Nice. So his yellow light means that he's not airtight. And if I close this door, the green light means that it is. Nice. So this room is actually airtight. So we're going to be talking about oxygen relatively soon. I'm not quite sure that I'm entirely ready to get to the oxygen realm yet, but the fact that the light turns from yellow to green when we close the door, yellow is an indication on an air vent when it's hooked up to an oxygen system, which we haven't done anything yet with. But yellow is an indication that it is not a sealed room, right? So it's not an airtight room. If we go ahead and, put this out here, obviously it won't work, but I just want to check this room real quick before we wrap up the episode, so I can just pop this anywhere. It doesn't actually have to be hooked up to an oxygen system, which is nice. So let's just weld this guy up and make sure that this room is actually also airtight. Sweet. So yellow means not airtight. I'm going to close this door, and I got to close this door. And we should now be airtight. Awesome. See how it's green? Now if I open this door, you'll notice that we're still airtight, because even though that door was open, the corridor from this room to that room is sealed. So I'm going to want a corridor between these doors and between these doors. And with a corridor similar to this one, and I haven't entirely decided how I want to do it yet. Like, this looks good, but I'm not sure if I love it. But with that kind of corridor, it means that, we have air pressure throughout the entire place and we're safe, right? So that's pretty cool. So for now, I think, though, it is a wrapping up point. So Daryl20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We have a fully functional welder bay. So now it should be very easy for us to make any ships we want in creative mode, come back here to single player, go ahead and have them reconstructed, and we will be using the ingredients that we have crafted, the crafting components, throughout our base. And we don't have to worry about too much. The only thing we do have to worry about right now is probably resources. Getting a little bit low on nickel and cobalt, which is fine. Iron is very easy to get, obviously. Silicon, a little tricky. And we could also use some more silver, gold. Platinum was something we're going to eventually need. We don't need much of now, but eventually. So, yeah. For now, like I said, wrapping up point. So, Daryl20 signing off. Take it easy.